guys, back with Crappie Fish for Life, and I'm sorry I haven't been here in a couple weeks. No, just one. But that is because I was at summer camp, and it was a lot of fun, but I'm glad to be back home and get back to work. So, today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to play chess, for those of you who don't know how to play chess. And I had some friends over last night, and I was just thinking, man, I should make a video. What should I do? And I was like, it came to me. And so then, it was like, amazing. So, I decided to do chess. And hope everybody can learn from this and enjoy it. And this is an easy tutorial, in fact, for me at least. But please subscribe and like the video. And if you more the subscribers we get, the more likes we get, the more views we get, the more tutorials you get. So make sure to subscribe, and let's get started. So guys, for chess, you need a chessboard or a checkerboard. You use the same board for checkers, but it's arranged differently. You have black pieces and white pieces, and the white pieces always go first. I'm going to explain each piece and its ability. So here's our chess pieces. Let's start with the easiest piece, a pawn. The pawn lines up, the pawns line up across on the second row, and like that, all the way across. All the way across. So there's, I believe, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pawns. And they go all the way across. The pawns, on their first move, can move 2 spaces up. Or they can move 1 space if they want to. But after their first move of 2 spaces, they can only move 1. Pawns cannot kill going forward. The only way a pawn can kill is if it goes diagonal. And it can only go diagonal when it kills. So, if a pawn makes it all the way to the other side of the board, then it can turn into any other piece of your choice. Now, this is my deformed knight. Looks like a horse, though. So a knight, well, no, let's not do knights right now. Let's talk about rooks. The rooks, they look like castle, tower, go on the end, goes on the end. And the rook's power can move in a plus sign. It can go as many forward, as many backward, as many to the right, as many to the left as they need. Then there is the bishops. Wait a minute, are these the same pieces? Yeah, they're the same. This one just looks weird. I don't know why. These go next to, no, never mind. Bishops, not the bishops next. The knights are next. They go next to the rooks. The knight can move in an L shape, so they can go up 2 over 1, or up 2 over 1, or up 1 over 2, or up 1 over 2. Or if it was out here somewhere, I could go back 2 over 1, or back 1 over 2. And they can move forward, backward, and they're the only piece in the chess game that can actually move over other pieces. They can jump over other pieces. So the next are the bishops. They go right here. Bishops move diagonally. This bishop will never leave white because it will always be on a white. This will always be on black. It will move in any number of diagonal. And that's the same with the rooks, if I didn't say that. It can move as any number if it needs to, as long as it doesn't hit something. It can't jump over something. If it hits something, it would kill it. So that's the bishops. We've got a bit of a light problem going on here. Let's get some natural light going. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So yeah, the bishops can move diagonally in whatever the way they need to. The next piece is this piece, the queen. The queen always goes on the right side if you're the white, but always goes on the left side if you're on the black. Queens should always face each other. So the queen on the black side would be right there. So the queen always goes on the right side for white, on the left side for black. And the queens always face each other. So that's their orientation. Let's talk about what they can do. The queen, in my opinion, is the most powerful piece. And what it can do is pretty much go forward, backward, side, side, or diagonal. It can pretty much do whatever it wants, except it can't jump over pieces. So it's basically like if you put a rook and a bishop and you shook it up in a bag, then you get a queen. And it can only move in one direction, like the boy band that just broke up. This is the king. The king is the most important piece because if you lose your king, you lose the game. The object of the game is to get the other person's king. So the king can move any direction one time. So it can move forward, backward, side, side, diagonal in any way, but only one square. So the king, once you get the other person's king, you win the game. Now, let's get the other side set up, and then we'll talk about what goes on next. Okay, so now we have our full chessboard and a chess set. And this is how it should look. I know my camera doesn't see everything, unfortunately. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. Okay, so basically what you want to do is if you have a chance to kill the other person's king, you tell them check. That means the king can move out of check, but it needs to move, or something needs to happen to protect the king from getting killed. Now, if you are in check, you must move out of check. You cannot say, whatever, lose the game. You must move out of check. It is part of the rules. Also, let's fix the camera here. The term you use when there's no way to come out of check is called checkmate. So that's what your goal is. You want to get the other person in checkmate. And so by doing that, you need to find a way to get the king in checkmate. Now, one of the best strategies I have, or I learned from my friend, and I know you're out there watching this right now. This is your strategy that I've realized that's what you do. In fact, it's you, Lord of Sword. Guys, go to Lord of Sword's channel, check him out, subscribe. Shout out to Lord of Sword. So do that. Anyway, is if you get the king on the back row, besides where it already is, and if you get the rook and the queen, and you put them on these two rows, on the last two rows, that's automatic checkmate. If the king is by itself on the last row, it can't move anywhere on the side, and it can't move forward. Oh my word, I'm making a mess. You look through the camera, it's kind of hard to do it. So that's how you can move the pieces, and that is how you play the game. I can go ahead and show you the method of getting in checkmate like I told you, which would be probably to get this pawn out of here, what I would do. And then I would get this pawn out, and I'd kill this pawn. Then I would move this up, and I'd move this out, and then I'd kill this, and then I'd let that rook kill the pawn, and then I'd kill the rook, and then I would let this do that, and I would advance, and they could, I guess you could, so they would do that, and then I would kill this, and then they could do this, and then I would kill this. Actually, no, I would not do that. I would lure that bishop out of its spot by doing that. Then they could do that. Then I would do that. And then they'd do that. And then I'd move this back and he'd be in check. And then I'd move this up too. And they could do that, and then I'd move the queen forward, and they could do that, and then I'd move it over here, and then they could do that, and then I'd move it in, and it'd be in checkmate. So, because the king could not move forward or side, because both of them would get it. Or you could do that without the queen, but with the other rook. And that is basically a really, like, messed up, like, if you're playing with nobody who knows what they're doing, version of what you need to do to get the king in checkmate. Obviously, the person you'd be playing would know what they're doing, so that would never happen. And purposeful moves on the other side would not be given to, you know, automatically get that in checkmate. So that is how you play chess, and as far as I can remember, I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And make sure you, if I'm missing something, I apologize. I do not allow comments on my channel because, you know, that's one of my personal rules. And so, I'm sorry that I don't allow comments, so you can't tell me if I'm doing anything wrong, but try to figure, you can go anywhere and figure that out. But that's the majority, if not all, of how to play chess. So please subscribe and like this video, and hope you have a fun time playing chess.